Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. The topic of this 10-minute moan is the absolutely outrageous idea by Aberdeen City Council where they have offered those who have failed asylum guaranteed interviews through their recruitment process. Now this is absolutely bonkers. I've seen these types of things before where they'll guarantee young people that are on certain schemes, etc., guaranteed interviews for employment, and that's kind of fair enough. But we've now had a press release by Aberdeen City Council where they say that they will guarantee what they term new Scots as eligible for a guaranteed interview for any apprenticeships that they have. And what they term as a new Scot is anyone between the ages of 16 to 24 who is asylum seeker, having their asylum application processed, or even those who have failed the asylum process. Now, if you look up and try and find out if this is actually legal or not, then you'll find that 90% of the times being an asylum seeker bars you from working. I do apologise about the noise on the flight path at Glasgow Airport over the cloud bank just now. So what they're doing now is anybody 16 to 24 who has even failed asylum can now be guaranteed an interview with Aberdeen Council when there are very sought after and a low number of apprenticeships going. And I can't get my head around this at all. If you have not been granted asylum, you're here illegally. If you are going through an asylum process, you cannot work. Yet this SDP and Liberal Democrat controlled council have decided to put them in front of the queue, in front of large portions of Scottish kids. And I just can't understand for the life of me why anybody would think that that's a good idea. It just makes no sense whatsoever. And it's actually against UK law, because vast majority, there's only a few exceptional circumstances where anybody within those categories can actually work. And it's certainly not ones that have been refused asylum. That's just, you're actually, if you failed asylum, then you're here illegally. And these people want to offer them interviews guaranteed for apprenticeships. It's just beggars belief. And I really don't know. People go, it's not the Scottish Government that are causing all these immigration stuff. Well, yes, it is, because the Scottish Government have already suggested that they want to extend the student visas and allow them to bring all their families here. And unfortunately, they tend not to leave. And now we see an SNP council granting an absolutely stupid thing which I believe is illegal. A guaranteed interview for an apprenticeship if you're 16 to 24, going through the asylum seeker process, or being even refused it. That's what they term a new Scot. And it is absolutely mental. What is it they're trying to achieve here? Apprenticeships should be given, first and foremost, to the local communities. People born and raised in Aberdeen. They deserve them, because generations before them, their sort of default industry would be the oil industry. Staying up to date with events around the world can be difficult, where it's impossible to consult a single source for the full story. Narratives that shape public opinion often just reinforce media and corporate-backed vested interests. It's hard to know what information to trust. See what the media is exaggerating, sensationalising, over or under reporting. That's why I've been using Ground News. Ground News is an app and website that combines news from around the world in one place so you can compare coverage. For every news source, you can see if it has any political bias, how reliable the reporting is, and who owns them. They even have a blind spot feed that highlights news disproportionately covered by one side of the political spectrum. Take a data-driven view on the news and stay current. Get news from thousands of sources worldwide in one place. I've been using Ground News to help me get all the world's news in one place and give a more balanced opinion on what we read, and viewing who is telling us the truth and who isn't. Subscribe via my link to get 40% off the Vantage subscription. It's the one I use to get unlimited access to every feature. Your subscription can not only help my channel, but also help Ground News, as it makes the media landscape more transparent. In that industry, because of the net zero drive by the Scottish Government, is actually losing jobs all over the place. So kids who are that sort of age, 16 to 24, they would have seen that as a sort of default industry to go into. Not anymore. Because it's a reducing industry that people try to. So the opportunities for Aberdeen, I feel sorry for the city of Aberdeen. I worked up there and lived up there for about 9 months during 2000, back in 2002. It was an absolutely thriving community. It's not anymore. It's still better than most places in Scotland, granted, but it is declining. And the youth up there need something to inspire them. We don't farm anymore. We don't have much industry in the docks in Aberdeen. All these things are dying, and now the one that should be the sort of default industry for these kids is the oil. Well, no, now. So what have the people in Aberdeen, the kids in Aberdeen, what have they got to look forward to? What should they aspire to be, as they grow older? Well, there's less and less opportunities. And now what we're seeing is you're not guaranteed a job. You're not guaranteed even an interview. But if you're here illegally, failed asylum, and ages between 16 and 24, you're guaranteed an interview. Now, this is DEI gone mental. Absolutely mental. What is the justification for that? I tell you what it would do. I would imagine in this world that we live in with ECHR rules and lawyers who specialise in asylum claims, if you were to get a job, bet your bottom dollar they would use that as an excuse for you to be here forever. So you're actually creating another problem, because there is only one job. And if you give it to somebody who's not meant to be here because their asylum's been denied, then you'll argue that they should stay here because they've got a job and he's got a great apprenticeship and a great future and all this nonsense. They're just creating another problem and making it more difficult for the communities up in Aberdeen and the surrounding area to actually have any hope, any dreams, any aspirations every time you give a job away. And it just beggars belief. It just makes no sense at all. But again, it's common sense and logic. And I suppose if you're going to look for stuff to suggest that there's no common sense and logic in politics, and you couldn't find two worse parties to look at than the SNP and the crackpots Liberal Democrats. But they seem to have done it. So if you want this video to be seen by more people, you can do 1, 2 or 3 things. You can hit the like button, hit the share button, and put some comments in. That'll help drive into other people's timelines. You could hit if you've not already done so, please consider subscribing and hit the notification bell. However, the most important thing, unless you're the type of people that are making it easier for 16 to 24-year-olds that shouldn't be here than the ones that are born and bred here, then know you. But
everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.